I would go in and I would create a profile very specific to my niche. And I would start producing 3 videos a day with a goal to get to my 1,000 followers as quick as possible. And then I would consistently go live on a daily basis, sharing value and connecting with my audience.
Welcome to MLM Nation, a podcast of leaders, by leaders, for leaders, hosted by Simon Chan. He's built a team of over 200,000 and is now a full-time MLM coach and trainer. So if you're ready to level up your business, join us now. Let's do this.
MLM Nation, this is Simon Chan. I'm fired up to bring our special guest today. We have a super power couple. We have Mike Gostola and Carla Shaw. Hey, Mike and Carla, are you ready to make it happen?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us, Simon.
Mike Gostola and Carla Shaw are entrepreneurs and online marketing strategists who recently hit the top 1% in the network marketing company. They have over 10 years of experience and have helped thousands of distributors grow their businesses using attraction marketing, social media, and TikTok, which we're going to spend a lot of time talking about today. Mike and Carla live in Calgary, Canada, have 2 kids, a dog, a horse, and many, many reptiles. And I met them recently, Mike and Carla and Rob Sperry's the Leaders Mastermind. And we just spent, I think, the first lunch talking about his son and reptiles. And afterwards, I thought, you have the coolest story. And especially what you do in TikTok, we got to have you on the show. So Mike and Carla, welcome to MLM Nation.
Yes, thank you so much, Simon. We're excited. It was really awesome to spend some time with you and get to know you better in Vegas at that mastermind.
So I have given MLM Nation a brief intro, but take us more to your background. What did you do? What was your background? What did you used to do? And how did you eventually get involved in network marketing?
Ladies first.
No, you go for it.
Okay, well, I guess
really Mike's initial story.
So it was an interesting introductory to network marketing. I had no idea what it was. I had no idea about the industry. I've been in business myself since I left high school as an entrepreneur, doing retail, then evolving into construction. And through my construction career, I had a little evolution from being very much on the tools all the day, being very active, to then going into more of an ownership manager's role. And then I started to put on some weight, and I started to blame Carla for shrinking my shirts. And she's like, "Listen, buddy, I'm not shrinking your shirts. Take a look." And so I started gaining some weight, right? And then a friend of mine had put a post up about this product that he was taking, and he had some really amazing results. So I reached out to him about the product, which turned out to be in network marketing space. And I had no idea. I thought, how do I get this special product? You have to be part of some special club. And I had no idea. So I ordered the product and ended up having some pretty astonishing results. And all of a sudden started having conversations. And then all of a sudden I was in network marketing. It just kind of fell in my lap.
And we were getting recognition in the mail, which we didn't even understand what it was. And I'd be like, "Mike, another certificate showed up. We got a pin today. I don't get this." And I would just throw it in the garbage. And because we saw, commissions were coming into a back office. We knew that things were happening, but we never really realized that we had a business, because it was just genuinely sharing how good Mike felt with other people. And I know they say it's not sharing and selling, but we were really just excited because Mike had found something that really changed who he was.
But even though it was interesting, because even though I was starting to have results, I was selling some products, I was still very resistant to the whole idea, because now my upline was phoning me saying, you should really focus on this. And I was like, I've got my own business. I'm not looking for another business. At first, I was only interested in the products. I didn't have any interest in the business side until we started to see some money trickle in. And then we're like, oh, there's something to this.
At what moment did you decide to really treat this as a business?
So that took a little while. It really did. We saw that kind of quick start, quick income, and we were excited about it, but we weren't fired up, because I was very focused on my primary business, my carpentry business at the time. It was a couple years of using the product and seeing little bits and pieces of income trickle in. then when we actually had kind of a breakthrough month, we're like, oh, there's something to this.
And I think it was also our the timing. So the financial woes of owning your own business and often having to pay your employees first before being able to pay yourself. We started to recognize that there's power in residual income, and that in order to do and live the lifestyle that we wanted to live, we definitely needed something else to propel us forward. And the traditional line of business, it wasn't, didn't want to put all our eggs in that basket anymore. And so that was really that pivotal moment when traditional business was getting harder. And we realized, oh man, how are we going to do all these things, go on these vacations, own a horse, all of those things all of those dreams weren't going to be possible probably in that spot where we were in.
So how long ago was this when you decided to go all in?
Oh,
it would have been about, well, it would have been 2020, end of 2017 going into 2018. So this was when our network marketing journey gets rather interesting. So we started taking it seriously, and then our upline in our first company decided that they were going to make a shift. They moved to a new company. They were multiple six-figure earners, high earners, and we had a high level of respect for them, and we were intrigued by what they were doing. So we decided, okay, well, let's follow this, because now we were in the business mindset of this. Let's see how we can make an income with this. It wasn't just about the products at that time. So we made a shift and we followed our upline to a new company, and it turned out to be a total flop and a giant scam. And we enrolled a lot of people with a high ticket item that turned out to leave them with basically a cupboard full of garbage that was not effective. So that was a big, big black mark on our journey. And it actually, at that point, Carla had decided, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with this. And I had caught the bug at that point. I was like, okay, well, there's got to be some way we can recover from this. And I started doing some research. I started, searching on the internet, better ways to build. And then I came across a gentleman that we're all familiar with, in Fernie Tobias, and learned about his techniques of attraction marketing, and actually ended up going to No Excuses 8, where we saw you on stage for the first time and had our first exposure to you. And from that point on, we realized that there was a better way to build this business. And then from that point, our kind of fire was reignited, and we were back all in after that kind of road speed bump in our journey.
So that's really, really interesting. So you were dabbling, and you finally did make the decision to go all in. And of course, once you make the decision to go all in, all this nonsense happened with the scam and all that. Why did you decide to stay with network marketing? How come you just didn't go back? Because Carla was like, oh, I don't want to do this. Why did you stuck with it, Mike?
Because of the people that I had become connected with through the industry had really planted a seed and shown me what was possible with the industry when it was done right, when you were successful in the industry. And I'm an adventure junkie. I'm a time freedom junkie. I hate being bound by a time clock. And that's why I've always been an entrepreneur, always been my own boss. And then realizing the potential that network marketing can open up for my family, it just created a fire in me that I can't put out. And even though I had gone through some challenges, I was like, there is ways, and I've been exposed and introduced to people that can teach me the right ways to do this.
Would you say, I always ask this question, your light bulb aha moment, that afterwards everything really started taking off? Would you say going to No Excuses 8, that was it?
It was the turning point for us.
Turning point.
Sure.
So what changed after that event?
We realized that there is a way to do this that aligns with our personality and beliefs and values, and that it truly, we got caught in an unfortunate situation, but that wasn't the story that was going to have to be our story. So together we recognized, okay, there's a way that we can kind of make a comeback and come back from this. we just didn't know how, right? Like we were acting very emotional and not like entrepreneurs and business people. And we were letting our environment of all the people we let down get in the way. And we needed to go to no excuses to be in a different environment and see things differently and be around different people who have had success and were having success at the time.
And we're teaching actual tangible skills, right? Actual marketing skills, way to get in front of new people, not just bugging our friends and family, and finding ways to actually treat it as a business.
So what did you do differently after that?
So we started to show up, we learned about personal branding. We learned about storytelling. We learned about connecting with people authentically and actually sharing value instead of, we were leading with our wallet. Traditionally, we were leading with trying to make money, and we had missed the gap of providing value and truly helping people and understanding if we could help the people we were talking to. So by approaching it differently and attracting people to us instead of chasing people, being the hunted instead of the hunter, if you will, it really just changed the entire experience in our business and just the enjoyment of the business as well. When you're not chasing a paycheck and more so you're helping people succeed, it's such a different experience.
And we realize that although friends and family are important, that's not what your business foundation should be resting on. So we understood there's a different way to attract people into our business. We felt we had a strategy and a plan in a way that we could work forward. And it didn't rely on us making a list of 100 people. And I think that was our list of 100 people was really gone. So we had to think of a way to get outside of that bubble, and attraction marketing taught us that. So that was definitely game changing for us from a mindset and perspective.
And you are like the TikTok gurus, the experts, and talk about personal branding. I want you to share, and I'm definitely not the TikTok person. I admit, I've been slacking on it. Definitely not my A game there. But you are the experts. So first of all, how did you get into TikTok? So you learn about personal branding, building the business the right way. How did you go from there to decide to use TikTok? Let's start with that question.
So through that same mentor that taught us attraction marketing, how to leverage personal branding and attraction marketing, he hopped on and he did a live presentation one night for our community. And he talked about TikTok and the power of TikTok. And he started the conversation off with, you probably went on TikTok and quickly got off because you didn't like what you saw. And I was like, that's exactly what I experienced. And I made my kids take TikTok off their phones. But then he also started to talk about the power of the algorithm and how TikTok can be the ultimate equalizer, is what I like to call it, in getting yourselves in front of thousands of new people on a daily basis organically. I had spent a lot of time in my business doing paid strategies. And we had great results in these paid strategies, but it wasn't duplicatable inside of our organization. We couldn't get people to invest the money we were investing in paid ads. So it wasn't growing our business the way we wanted. So Fernie started talking about TikTok, and I was like, okay, I'm going to play around with this. And I took everything that we had learned in attraction marketing and personal branding, and I took it over to TikTok and short form video. And I simply started doing all of the personal branding and attraction marketing format in short form video. And in under 30 days, I gained over 100,000 followers. I'd had 110 or some odd applications to work with me directly in my business, created automatic sales, like click and buy sales, which we had never experienced in our network marketing business before. So in a very short time, we realized that TikTok was a powerful, powerful tool that wasn't being fully leveraged by network marketers. And it was funny because my upline, or our upline, she's a top leader in the industry, and she was like, you know what, go for it. I'm not touching it. And she watched and watched as things grew for me. And then she started perking up her interest. So then it was like, okay, let's train the team. So I started training our greater team. And then we started seeing massive, massive results, 3,000 enrollments a month, 7,000 enrollments a month, selling out products in our company because of TikToks. So we knew something very powerful was here. And we decided that, we're champions of the industry. So we decided to roll that out as a training platform for everybody. So not only we can help our team, we can help everybody win.
So someone who's listening to this or watching this right now on our YouTube channel, they want to they don't have TikTok. They haven't really been using it. I would even say they're just say 45 and over. Okay. Because stereotypically, that's not the TikTok user, right? How do they get started with TikTok? What should they do?
Well, you'd be surprised at the age on TikTok. So we have a lot of very successful people that we've trained who are actually over 70.
Yeah,
So
that's why I said that. That's why I said 45, because people
yeah,
think that 45 is too old. Only 20-year-olds
not
making it. So if
yeah,
a lot of people listening are over 45,
yeah.
their first objection, oh, but you guys are younger, I can't do it. That's totally not true.
I'm 45.
No, totally not true. And I say that the over 70 to say to you if you're over 45, not even close to being an issue because you could be 100 and crush it on TikTok. Like there's no age.
There's been a big shift in the demographics on TikTok. Of course, when it first came out, it was a lot of the younger kids, and it was all about dancing and doing things that a lot of us as marketers aren't going to do. Well, I wasn't going to dance on TikTok.
She didn't even dance at our wedding.
I didn't even dance at our wedding. So the chances of me dancing on TikTok is about zero, right? So like there's a lot of that resistance for our age bracket on TikTok. But what we've discovered is like there's a major shift. It's one of the fastest growing social media platforms out there. There's over 3 billion users. The average user is on TikTok for 89 minutes a day, stuck in the scroll. There's $198,000 spent an hour on TikTok by consumers. The hashtag, I don't Google it, I TikTok it. TikTok made me buy it. All of these things are showing us that our ideal customer, our ideal prospect is spending time on TikTok. And what we're finding is people on TikTok are loving the connection they're getting with people. As you know, the power of video is very, it helps us connect with our prospect. And that short form video format is really helping people get in front of people in mass and connect with a whole new network that otherwise we didn't have access to before.
It speeds up that know, like, and trust. It happens so much faster on TikTok because people consume so much content in such a short period of time. So it's almost like to call it like you're microdosing on TikTok over and over again, and you're getting that repeated exposure. It happens very fast. And so you also have a lot of impulsive people on TikTok, which then they turn into great lifelong customers. I want to go back, Simon, though, to the question you asked about how to get started.
How do people get started? Yeah.
So our best advice for people getting started on TikTok is to think about the one product that you absolutely think that everybody in the world needs. We say it's like your signature dish, and TikTok really, really favors one thing. And a very overused term in marketing today is niche down, but one thing that's very specific to a certain audience. So, maybe it is like women in over 40 who are career women and they want to like lose weight in just in under 30 days, or it has to be like that specific. And one product or solution that allows the algorithm to really serve your content up much faster and to categorize you, which then pulls people into you. We find that when people come to TikTok, and we all know we love our product line and everything our company offers, but when you show up on TikTok with your whole buffet, it confuses TikTok and your message actually just gets nowhere.
Yeah. So the best thing to do when you're starting on TikTok is be very clear on who you're there to serve and who you're there to help. So the algorithm is going to work in your favor. And to do that, it's also in consuming the content that you want to see, right? And teaching the algorithm what you're interested in is also connected to what you're sharing, right? So not only what you're posting on TikTok, but what you're consuming. So we teach our students to right away to be the detective inside of their niche, to start exploring and interacting with creators inside of their niche. So then the TikTok algorithm is very powerful, and it will change very quickly based on what you're consuming, what you're swiping past, what you're watching, what you're commenting on, what you're liking, saving, sharing, right? And how you're commenting also is going to determine what the platform is going to show you. So we always teach people to be very clear on what is their intention of going on to TikTok for. So they set their foundation up very strong. So the algorithm showing them what they want to see, and also putting them in front of the right people that need to see their content.
Hey, I have a question. So this is excellent. So good. So just say you want to, obviously it's a distributor. They just say they want to serve women, right? That's whatever it is, very niche specific. But they also want to consume TikTok for their own entertainment, right? At the after hours. But they don't want to confuse the algorithm. Should they have two different accounts?
That's a really good question. So I actually do, because I learned this in a very interesting way. Inside of our academy, we do what's called hot seats. So we go in and we work on people's TikTok content specifically in their niche, right? And as I was doing this on my personal profile that I build my business on, I was analyzing all of our students' content. It started to shift my algorithm away from where I was wanting to be. So I actually do use a separate account now for that purpose. So for your question, yes, I actually, the way I do it is I consume my guilty pleasure content on Instagram because I don't build on Instagram. Right. But you
Yeah.
could definitely do a separate TikTok account, not to disrupt your algorithm. Because here's a classic example. If everybody goes back a couple of years, I don't know if you heard about the trucker rallies in Canada,
Yep.
where all the truckers were. So I got very kind of in depth into that, consuming that on my TikTok. Well, that took me totally out of my mental wellness niche, right? And all of a sudden my algorithm was messed up. So definitely it is very important to stay laser focused on your niche on TikTok. So yeah, that would be a great suggestion.
Is this similar to how Instagram is? Like what all the tips that you shared, like being specific in the algorithm? Was it different?
You know what? We'll be full transparency. We don't build on Instagram. So we're 100% like all in so much on TikTok that it wouldn't be fair. Yeah.
And I do believe a lot of the algorithms work the same throughout, social media platforms. What we're consuming, what we're commenting on, what we're producing is going to drive our algorithm, right? So staying very, very clear to your message and not confusing your audience is important, even though TikTok is very cold market, right? Yeah. TikTok, the idea of every TikTok is to get in front of a new set of eyeballs, right? We're like a commercial on TikTok. We're getting in front of new people. That's the point of the For You page.
What's also one thing I do want to point out about Instagram, though, and Facebook Reels is that one of the huge benefits of TikTok is that TikTok is the trendsetter. So it is the cool place. It's where everything starts. And we find that when our students and us, when we start first on TikTok and then we repurpose out, it's very effective. And sometimes something doesn't perform as well on TikTok, but it absolutely crushes it out on Reels. Yep. So it's really just a great place to start. And then you have you triple your impact because you can take it out to Facebook Reels and to Instagram and repost it and it will perform again.
And we've noticed, students have tried to go the reverse, bringing Instagram content to TikTok, and it typically flops. But that's because TikTok is usually 2 to 3 weeks ahead of the trends on Reels on Instagram and Facebook.
You said that the algorithm also depends on how you're commenting. What do you mean by that? I mean, are you talking about just like the smiley face emoji comments or like real comments? Is that what you mean?
Comments, because on TikTok, there's a subculture within the comments of videos. So when you can put a meaningful, like actual quality, value-based comment on somebody's post, a lot of times it'll create conversation inside of that post. And I've had TikToks where I have comments that on my post that have sub comments that have gone into the thousands of people commenting. So when you can create and comment with meaningful comments that create connection, bring value, then that's going to drive the algorithm. It's going to attract followers to you, right? From the other creators' content where you put valuable content on, right? To drive people to check out your profile. But also, even when we're commenting and replying to people on our own content and creating meaningful questions, instead of just like some emojis or a simple, like, generic comment, if we create a meaningful response that's going to create connection and conversation, our content's going to get pushed out further by the algorithm.
You two are so good. You are so good. First of all, I apologize for hijacking the conversation.
Don't keep asking.
Paula, you were talking about how to get started, and I was I have a ton of like 5 pages of notes here. We talk about the signature dish, be the detective in the niche, the comments, and then not just hijack, but talk about comments. Well, what other tips do you have for people who are, the quote unquote the old person, but wants to get started?
Well, we found that there are five types of videos that actually perform best on TikTok for network marketers. And so, using these types of videos. So the first one is basically you don't have to always engage in trends on TikTok, which is really fantastic for people who are very, very busy. You can definitely use a trend. I call it like putting, gasoline on your fire. But if you just have a message and you want to do what we call a straight up talking head video, where it's a few seconds long and it's you sitting in your car and you're saying your quick message, your quick highlight reel, that video performs phenomenally well for network marketers. And it's literally a 30-second, 15-second video. So that's what we call a talking head video, where you're just delivering value about a frequently asked question, who your solutions for, anything that's evergreen content and can stay on your page forever, right? You could put a trending song playing in the background, but you don't even have to do that to make a massive impact and reach hundreds of thousands of people. We also have another video that performs really well is actually called a live video. And TikTok lives are really fascinating. And you do need 1,000 followers to get on live. But live videos have been absolutely game changing for our numbers and enrollments because you're sitting there just talking as if you were hanging out in a room with somebody in a coffee shop. And it's, you're showing them your product, you're explaining their story, you're answering their questions, and people just enroll.
Yeah. TikTok is much different than a lot of the social media platforms we're used to showing up on. And one of the things I like most about TikTok is people want to be connected to you authentically, right? Gone are the days of the perfectly scripted video, the perfect background, the flashy, the influencer type content. People are connecting with people who are showing up authentically as themselves, sharing from their heart, and not worrying about all the aesthetics of it. One of our partners, Shannon Boyle, in the Rock the Talk Academy, when we were building this strategy out and doing it within our teams, she started using our strategies that we teach. And she created a video. She was in her carpool lane picking up her daughter. She created a video and she sent it to me, and she's like, I suck at this. I'm turning my phone off. I took that video over to Carla. We watched it. I said, she is going to absolutely blow this up. She shared authentically from her heart something that was impacting her life, her family, and shared a meaningful resource. She woke up the next morning to over 5,000 followers overnight, 500 comments asking for her solution. Since then, she's maxed out her commissions in her company. She's hit the top of her company through customer acquisition, right? It's so awesome to see that just showing up authentically as ourselves and not having to be perfectly scripted is allowing people.
And I also want to make a comment about viral videos too, because most people often get stuck and think you have to go viral on TikTok to be a success. That's the only way that it's going to work for you. And that's absolutely not true. We have a lot of students who have never had a viral video once. In fact, maybe some of their videos haven't even gone beyond 5,000 views, and they're getting double-digit sales every month from TikTok. So it's a complete myth that you have to go viral in order to really crush it on TikTok. Yeah.
Yes, you said 5 types of videos: talking head,
Yes.
live video, and then
the other one is what's called a reply video, and I know now you can do this on Instagram as well.
Yep.
And that is, you'll get a lot of people asking you a lot of questions on TikTok, and what you can do is on your video you can reply to them with a video, but it actually shows it to everybody.
Yeah. So think about that as if you were a prospect and you found a piece of content that grabbed your attention, you wanted more information, and Simon took the time to create a video for you. How would that make you feel as a prospect, right? Pretty special, right? Pretty understood. Like Simon actually listened to what you were looking for. So it really helps to build that know, like, and trust. And those reply videos are also, they go out to the For You page, and there's chances are there's another person with that same question that didn't ask it. So those reply videos give you a chance to deliver value in mass to new people that maybe necessarily wouldn't have asked the question but had the question.
And it's really great because your content's done for you, right? So you don't have to think about what am I going to say today? You just answer a question and you have a video.
Yeah. And then the other video style is a duet. So a duet is when you can take somebody else's content, and this is like bringing in third-party validation, right? So a duet is simply, let's say Simon created a super valuable piece of content that I was really intrigued by and I agreed with, or maybe I disagreed with. I can do a video side by side, and I'm basically listening and reacting to what Simon is sharing and sharing my takeaways or my experience. Using duet videos, we actually created product shortages inside of our company for 3 months straight. And we had people that were hitting massive rank advancements by click and buy sales. One of our top students had 278 sales without a single conversation, strictly through click and buys by doing one of these duet videos.
And then the last video, you said talking head live video, replay, duet. And
the last video is just simply text on screen. And that's where you take a B-roll footage that you have of something in your life, anything, any day-to-day B-roll footage. It can just be even a B-roll of you working at your computer. It can be a B-roll of you going out for a walk. Or
like, for example, we could take B-roll footage of right now having our camera on the side, a little side profile of us doing this interview with you. Yeah. And then it would just be, we would do a full text overlay on the text on the picture, and we'd have our video playing on a loop, like a 6-second loop with a 6-second sound, right? What this does is it tricks the algorithm in a sense that the video has been watched multiple times, because you put text that takes longer than 6 seconds to consume, to read on your video. The video and the sound is looping multiple times. So the algorithm's like, oh, this video is being watched multiple times by every single viewer. Let's show it to more people. These videos have generated for myself tens of millions of views now, and thousands upon thousands of comments, conversations, leads, and sales.
You had mentioned click and buy. So people actually watch a video, click without talking to you, and just buy.
It happens every day.
Right. Why does that happen because that doesn't seem to work well on the other platforms. What makes TikTok so different? Like, people actually buy on TikTok? Was it just a culture that's been created?
It's a culture that is being created, and people are, like we mentioned at the start of the call, like with the TikTok made me buy it. Hashtag TikTok made me buy it. I don't Google it, I TikTok it. People are actually going to TikTok now to find resources, to find solutions, and they're connecting with people like all of us in this industry on a personal, emotional level through short form video. It's no longer that they're going to the big box or the commercials on mainstream TV. They're connecting with people authentically.
On TikTok, they're looking for a personal recommendation, right? And I think a lot of people you'll find on TikTok within the subculture are kind of frustrated by like the mass marketing. And they feel like there's a mistrust, because when you go on Google, in order to show up at the top, it's all based on your rankings and it's all based on really smart marketers, right? So they don't feel connected personally anymore. And when you go on TikTok, there's a really strong polarizing culture there. And it's a very, like, if you show up on TikTok, please stand for something and please stand against something, because people are expecting that from you on that platform. And that's why they're searching for your solutions, because they feel like you've done the homework for them. And based on your experience, that they can relate to, that what you're sharing is authentic. So that's why we really work on our story on TikTok and our solution, and being you and not copying other people. So we always say, don't be Milli Vanilli, like be queen, show up as that really authentic person and stand for something.
Would you agree that other platforms, the click and buy, doesn't work well? When people
our experience, I don't know that I've ever had a click and buy on Facebook. It usually results in some sort of conversation or tagging them in a video that then they get further information, like in a 20-minute or half-hour video that requires a lot of the follow up and closing the sale. TikTok, 90% of the sales that we're seeing in our business and in our students' businesses are click and buys without conversations. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have a conversation with your customers, because now it comes into relationship building, a great customer experience. So you have customer retention, right? So we've kind of flipped the script on TikTok, where people are buying through us, clicking and buying through the attraction marketing, through that connection we're creating, right? And then we're nurturing that relationship down the road to create a lasting relationship with the customer. What's really cool, what we're experiencing on TikTok, is because people have come through this funnel of buying off of John, Harry, or Sally, or whoever it is, right? Not going to a big box store, not going to, just like an advertisement of sorts. They've gone through the process of buying off of somebody. So they're very open to the discussion of maybe possibly exploring it for themselves. We see a lot of customers after, a couple, 3 months of a good customer experience. When we present the business opportunity to them, the TikTok customer is much more open to that discussion. So it's pretty cool. You can start to evolve your business customer wise and partner wise. And what better business partner than a super happy customer, right?
Yeah, you two are amazing. If some of you feel like overwhelmed, like where do I even start? Because this stuff is so cool. I know you have an amazing resource for people to help people. So why don't you share a little bit about your academy and how you serve the profession?
Yeah, sure. So we have a couple of resources. So today we'll leave behind just a free video formula that can be shared out for everybody that you can use, because we always find that it's really nice to have a formula to start with, especially when you're showing up on video and it might be a little bit foreign to you. So this formula, our students use it. Everybody has been using it with a lot of success, and it's really simple. And then we also have a group, a Facebook group for people who are curious about TikTok and want to know more and have some questions and are looking for, some training, basic, like how do I get started on TikTok? And it's the TikTok. Oh my gosh, it's face on my TikTok growth for network marketers. Thank you. I have too many things to share.
Yes.
Yes. And then we also, for anybody who is interested in lighting up their results faster and is really serious that the TikTok is a great platform and a great match for them, we have a TikTok Academy for Network Marketers course. So we really speed up your trajectory, get you to 1,000 followers, and teach you, all of those things that we talked about with the 5 videos today and more in depth.
Yeah. And we help you build your foundation solid as a rock, so you can grow on that over time. And we take things over the years in investing in ourselves and investing in our business and mentorship. We've taken everything that we loved from courses, everything that we didn't like from courses, and put it into the academy. And what we do a little bit differently inside of the academy is we'll work very specifically with you on your business. You'll educate Carla, myself, and Shannon on what your particular business is. And we actually do, in our hot seat calls, we evaluate your content. We dive into your specific content and help you have a clear path forward and clarity so you can create content. So it's not just surface level training. We dive really deep into your specific business with you. And we found that to be very effective for people in jumpstarting their trajectory on TikTok. So they set that foundation, they have clarity. The content just becomes that much easier to create when you have the clarity. Then you layer in our formulas. We have formulas for live videos. We have formulas for talking head videos, for voiceover videos, everything. We set up a foundation that will have you in action daily and getting your content in front of literally thousands of people.
And like Simon, you're the consistency king, but these strategies teach you consistency and help you to be consistent, because I know when you're starting out something new and different, consistency is one of the really, really important things to have set up. And this will help you to stay consistent because you don't get stuck in overwhelm.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I would say component 7 of the consistency system, the most important was accountability, and having someone there helps you, because without it, it's very, very easy to get overwhelmed. So thank you for sharing those resources. ML Nation, head over to the show notes page. It's mlnation.com/785. And we will put all the links to all those resources that Mike and Carla are sharing with you all. So make sure definitely go check it out. Hey, we can go on and on.
Really good.
We need to wrap it up. This show has actually been 43 minutes, way longer than normal. But some quick questions to pick your brain, okay? These can be one sentence, one word. So the first one is, what is your favorite success quote that motivates you?
Mine comes from my mom, and it's "Can't died when could was born."
What is it again?
Can't died when Could was born.
And what about you, Carla?
Mine comes from Mike's dad, and his is, if it's going to be, it's up to me.
What's one habit that's helped you become successful?
Consistency. Being stubbornly consistent.
What about you, Carla?
I am having an open mind.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Show up authentically as yourself.
I do.
Carla?
Yeah. We went through the same issue together, so we're on the same page with that one.
What's your favorite prospecting tool? So say someone is interested, they watch a TikTok video and they're interested in joining the business. Do you get on the phone with them? Do you do a Zoom? Do you directly, you meet them face to face? What do you like to do?
I prefer to get them onto a Zoom call as soon as possible, or a voice call, right? Well, if they're attracted through my content, if they ask a question, if it's not a click and buy, then I prefer to get them on an actual call.
What's your favorite app on your phone that's not TikTok or a social media app?
Insight Timer.
Right on. Hey, I've been using Insight. You know what my streak is? I just clicked on. I think it's like 200 something days. My Insight Timer right now. Very
That is
cool.
awesome.
What about you, Carl?
My Spotify, because I like to make sure that I'm changing my energy. So if I'm going into a place where I'm like, this isn't the energy I want to bring, I grab a couple of songs on Spotify and just recalibrate.
What's one book you could recommend to ML Nation?
Mine is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson.
And I say Magnetic Sponsoring by Mike Dillard.
And of course, the Consistency Pill by Simon Chan.
Thank you. Here's the last question, the $1 million question. You ready? So imagine you had to start all over again. You knew no one. So you didn't know each other, didn't know your kids, you had no family, no contacts, but you had all your current knowledge, skills, and wisdom. What's the first thing you do to find prospects and build a network marketing business from scratch? Now, I know you're going to say TikTok, but what would you do at TikTok? And what will you do at TikTok?
What would I do on TikTok?
Yes.
I would go in and I would create a profile very specific to my niche. And I would start producing 3 videos a day with a goal to get to my 1,000 followers as quick as possible. And then I would consistently go live on a daily basis, sharing value and connecting with my audience.
I guess the same for you, Carla, right?
100%.
You've been amazing. As we wrap up, any last words or advice? And then what's the best way our listeners can connect with you?
So my advice is always, you know what, show up authentically as yourself. Make sure you have a connection to your product and or service. So it's something that you can talk about for a half an hour without stopping, right? And be passionate about. Something that you would use on a daily basis, regardless if you're getting paid. So you can stay connected through those dips that we're all going to experience in business, right? So having that connection is super important.
How to get a hold of us is there's a couple of ways. So mikeandcarla.ca/rock the talk. So that's where you can find out all the details on our program and course. And then, hit us up on Facebook. And, that's still.
Messenger is always the best way to get a hold of me. Like if you want to chat, Messenger, just hit me up in my personal profile. It's Mike Gostola. That's the easiest way.
ML Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today you've been hanging out with 2 superstars, Mike Gostola and Carla Shaw. So keep up with the momentum. Go to mlnation.com, click on the podcast tab, look at the show notes there, the links to the TikTok resources, links to their profiles to be right there. Definitely go follow them and go reach out to them and connect with them. Hey, in order to be successful in life and business and network marketing, you must help others. So Mike and Carla, thanks again for sharing your valuable time with ML Nation. We're grateful to you and we appreciate you. for having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you, Simon. We appreciate you.
Hey, ML Nation, this is Simon Chan. Here's a recap. A great show from Mike, Gostola and Carla Shaw, the TikTok gurus. Definitely go follow them. Hey, go to mlnation.com. Episode 785. You can click on the show notes page, the podcast tab at the top in the show notes, and I'll have the links where you can follow them. Definitely reach out to them. Check out all the good stuff they're doing. So many nuggets of wisdom. There was, this is longer than I normally, episode longer, because TikTok for me was just fascinating. I like a shit on the show. I'm definitely not that into TikTok, but not because it doesn't work, probably because I have been, focused on other things and haven't spent as much time into it. And I did have the initial feeling, it's only for younger people, not for others. But I realized there's a lot of people who are crushing it, not just in network marketing, but in other business, other industries are doing through TikTok. And that's what I wanted. And when I met Mike and Carla at the mastermind, I wanted them on this show to share with you how network marketers are doing it. I learned a lot about I think this is an episode you need to listen to over and over again and definitely get help. I'll put the link to Mike and Carla. Go reach out to them, get help, because it's so easy to get overwhelmed, right? But there's so many good stuff here. Talking about creating the signature dish, being very specific, and then how you train that algorithm so that your stuff gets to people who are new followers, right? To the recommended videos, and how to be effective in your niche. The commenting, really important. Be intentional with the commenting. And also, the one thing I realized, I need to create a separate account for TikTok for my own stuff that I check out, and also for the business, right? That's my aha takeaway that I need to do. I actually do that for Instagram, but I somehow didn't do that on TikTok. And TikTok's very unique, where it's like the only social media platform where you can click and buy. People will click and buy, right? They see your content over again. They will click and buy. You don't need to talk to them. They will buy your product. They will reach out to you. And you don't see that anywhere else. Definitely not on Instagram and Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. Like I said, I can keep going on and on. I'm just going to keep it short here. The 5 type of videos I thought were really helpful. Talking head. I'm just sharing this because when you listen to this, you can think of ideas of which ones you can do. A talking head, that's simple. You can be in a car. A live video, you need 1,000 followers to do that, but live video. A replay video, which is really cool. A reply video, which means you reply back to someone's question, and that thing can be leveraged over and over again. A duet, very powerful, especially you see something, you want to comment on it, and then text on screen. Just share something motivational. And I think at the end of the day, what makes it work is you got to be authentic. Talk about the best advice and habits, like being authentic, being real, being who you are. It doesn't need to be perfect. If you look at a lot of the TikTok videos, they're not perfect, but just being real and authentic. So people feel they can trust you. They know you and like you and trust you. And at the end of the day, that's what sells, right? That's what gets people to buy you if they feel they know you, like you, and trust you. Awesome show here. Definitely connect again. Go to mlnation.com. Show notes page. I'll put the link there. And for those, definitely head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. Like I shared before, these episodes take a lot of my time, took Mark and Carla their time away from what they're doing with their kids to serve you. So make sure, hey, go follow them, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review, subscribe to us on the YouTube channel as well. And I would really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much for listening. Make sure you take action what you learn, follow Mike and Carla, and apply what you learn, and go out there and have a positive impact in someone's life. God bless you all.